Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, and the IYT. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like these videos, go to my website, sign up, it's free, or click down here in the bottom right hand corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Traders, if you're looking for a new broker, check out Cobra Trading. I've been using these guys, Chad and Cobra, for the last 8 to 9 years. Hands down the best in the business. When you sign up online or over the phone, please tell them that StockBookie sent you. Online, use promo code StockBookie. All right, guys, 56 million on the day. Spider daily chart, 0.17% up, or 43 cents green. We did close back above the 20 MA, so now we're above the 20, the 50, and the 200 in a bullish stance, and now we're starting to go sideways again, just like this one. We did pop up. We talked about that pop, and then when it came back in, we could possibly have a couple day pullback, which we did. We came down to the 382 retrace. It held. I thought for sure we'd come to gap window, possibly fill gap fill. But we didn't do it. Popped right back up. Pretty much the same scenario. Clockwork like normal. Grandma pushes it up, and here we go, closing above the 20 once again on the daily chart. So at this point, guys, nothing's wrong. Let's go into the next 2 days and see what Friday's close brings us. As long as we stay above the 20, we should be okay. But if you're in puts or even sometimes calls, this thing goes sideways. The both can decay, and you can play that one as well. So at this point, guys, back above, bullish stance. Let's wait for pattern. Let's see what this thing brings out. I'm still thinking we're going to get a little bit of turbulence coming up. We should get another nice pullback, and this time I think we'll test this lower trend line and possibly pull back to this area here around the 200 MA. Higher prices, 250, 255, 260. Lower prices, you're looking at 239.94. Then this low pivot here right around 235.70, and then of course 234.22 down in this area. So watch for that, but right now back above the MAs, nothing wrong. Let's see what this gives us in the next 2 days, and then Friday's close as well. Let's get into the IWM. IWM and a little bit better volume today, but guys, remember we talked about this lower end range and this thing chopping around. Thought for sure we'd get a little bit of follow through. We didn't, but we barely filled the gap here. Right back down. Today was just kind of a pause day at 4 cents up, 0.03% on the day, and 21 million on the volume. So we talked about this coming back, consolidating in this lower range, 20 MA curling down into price. If this curls down into price, this has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days sideways. Let's look for possible Friday, maybe a little bit of selling, or possibly into Monday, Tuesday. Let's see if this continues to be weak and continues to lag. We've been talking about the IWM or the Russell lagging, never good for the market. So, as well as the IYT, which are the transports too as well. So, this trend line held with the 200 moving average. Let's see if this consolidation is setting up for possible lower prices. As long as we stay below these two moving averages, it should possibly move down. If this thing starts to pop up and they're bullish, you got to fill this gap. I'll have to look at it. Looks like it just made it or just missed it by a couple pennies, but you have another gap fill here, and then of course you have these moving averages and then these high pivots with this gap fill here around here too. And this is a lot of overhead resistance, guys. So even if it comes up in the price right around the 140, 140.74, this is going to have big resistance with all this consolidation back here. But overall, guys, on this chart, it's still up, sideways, bullish action. I would have liked to have this to go a little bit more straight down on this line, consolidating. See how we're rising up slowly as it's chopping around in this channel, and now we got to the height of the channel here, and boom, right back down to the lower end. But we did have good support here with the 200, this big trend line, and then these pivots down in here as well. So that held it up, popped up, came right back in. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm thinking, guys, we're going to come down. Hopefully we get a gap down here, and then we get this done with, and then I could finally buy the dip, guys, and go actually long with you guys for one time. But right now, let's see what this brings us. Let's see Thursday, Friday. I'd love it to go into next week and then possibly sell with the 20 MA curling down. Again, bullish. Got to get above the MAs, get above these pivots, and then higher prices to come. Bearish, you need to stay in this lower range and keep chopping around, and this will possibly be setting up for lower prices, so watch for that. All right, let's get into the Qs. Qs, guys, 31 million on the day. Volume was okay. It was 0.17% up, or 25 cents green on the day. We did get back above the 20, the 50, the 200 MA, just like the spider. Pretty much the same scenario, guys. Came up, chopped around. This was a little bit inside bar bearish pattern. Started playing out, but as soon as we got to this 50 MA, filled the gap down in here. Boom, right back up, got it above the 20 MA, and it's like, whoa, okay, we're fine, just buy the dip, keep this mentality going. We are above it. Let's see what pattern plays out. If we start going sideways again, just like in here, then we're setting up for higher prices. Higher prices meaning we'll get probably to 146, then 148, then 150, and then 152.50, 155, stuff like that. Let's see how it goes. If it does go up, let's see where it goes up into the 150 area and see how it acts with that big round number. So again, nothing wrong. Let's wait for pattern. If we start to slip again, then we'll be looking for gap fill 50 MA. Big area on this one, guys, if you're coming down, will be this trend line right here and this gap fill. I'm going to stick a line in here right now. So gap fill right around 136.26. That's a big area. If that gives it up, just like I've been saying, everything's coming back to the 200 MA. I don't care what stock it is, whether it's Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia. Eventually these will be coming down to the daily 200 MA. That will be the target on this one. As you can tell, if we go back to the IWM, guess what, guys? Already hit that one, but now it hit it, bounced, setting up for lower prices. So we're going to see, we always talk about when it hits it, we're going to see how it reacts, and if it bounces up or sets up for a more downside. Right now, chopping around, lower end of the range, the IWM. This one's setting up for lower prices. But back to the daily chart on the Qs, nothing wrong with this one, guys. Got back above the old all-time high, which was 143.84. Now it's got to see some consolidation. If we do just come right back in, I'm going to expect lower prices, guys. Highs, got to get through the 146 area. Once we do that, then we'll evaluate this chart and see where it's going. 148, 150 possibly. If this thing starts to slip, guys, I think we're coming down and we're going to go fast and furious, guys. Gap fill, here we come, right here, right around 130, and then the 200 MA. We could hit this and bounce like the IWM and then possibly set up and start coming in lower. I still think we're going back to the November lows, guys. And that's way back here, right there, about 113 or so, 114. So watch for that. DIA. DIA had a pretty good day, guys. 31 cents up, 0.14% on the day. 24 million, or 2.4 million. So the volume was light, but we did bounce back up. We did get back to gap fill, filled the gap. Did we fill the gap here? Yep, we filled the gap on there as well, right around the 220.75 area. Again, we've been talking about 225, 230, 235 going to the upside. This is still bullish, above the MAs, chopping sideways. Let's see if this thing could take off and get going up into this 225 into the 230 area. Once it starts hitting 230, if it does, then we'll see for pattern, see if it's going to make it up to the possible 236, 235 area. But guys, this, they're just sticking this thing right above the MAs, keeping it going. Good trend. Bottom line, this area here, if this bottom line trend line breaks, this thing will be going to 205.26 in a heartbeat. So watch for this. And remember, when these bullish patterns fail at the all-time highs, usually we come down a little bit quicker. We have a great gap fill right around 203.95. Matching up with the 200 moving average. We'll see if that's an area for a good quick bounce, maybe a nice little retrace, and then the next leg down. If this continues up, like I said, 225, 230, 235, so watch for that. Volume was okay, nothing great. It's pretty much the same old stuff in these markets, guys. We dip for 1-2 days, and then boom, 9 days up, and then 5 weeks sideways. Watch for that. They got us conditioned for that. This could be the one time where we come right up, and then boom, we come right back down. So watch for that one. If you're long, tighten the stops. If you're short, just be patient with these markets, guys. There should be some downside coming in the near future to these markets overall, especially the indexes, guys. These come down, it's going to drag everything down with it. Let's go to the IYT, which is the transports. Gosh, nice. It came right into the 200 MA this time. It hit the bottom trend line. We talked about that. Didn't hit it here. So we had a short-term bounce, came right back in, hit the 200 again with the trend line, with the 618. So a couple good reasons to buy this thing for a quick bounce. Boom, 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 boom. Right back to the 50 MA. This is your big area, 170.27. And then about 170.71. Then of course the 750 retraced 170.130. So if this thing continues moving up, watch for this area right in here. Even this high pivot, we could get above that, we're going to fill this gap, and then we're going to go for the all-time highs again and see if we could actually get through it this time. This one I thought for sure, I was looking at this, when it got above it, it was like, wow, this thing's actually going to go. But then it got to this trend line here, and that's where it stalled out, and boom, right back down, just like the IWM. Remember, these are lagging indicators. If these lag, never good for the markets. We have a little bit of a W bottom here. Let's see if this takes off. But at this point, let's see where this thing can go from here. What I'd be looking for, if you're bullish, you want to stay up in this area and consolidate above the 618, just keep going sideways, setting up for higher prices, and ultimately breaking through this area here, the gap fill in this high red bar from this breakdown bar. I mean, there's a lot of volume in here, so a lot of people who got stuck up in this area will possibly become sellers. So let's see how it reacts once it gets to the 750. Does it pull back? Does this thing set up sideways? Or honestly, do we come right back in? I think if we hit this one more time, we might get one more bounce and then come right back in and crack this door. If this door cracks, we're going right here to 157.64, and then we'll have to reevaluate as it goes down. You have a couple gaps to fill down in here, 750 to contend with, the big trend line we've been talking about. So great 4-day up, a little bit of a pullback today off the highs, only 23 cents up. Again, volume's been okay on this one, but come Friday, we'll look at these things again, do the weekly update. Right now, it's okay. It's trying to recapture the 50 MA, but for bulls, you got to get above the 50 MA and ultimately above this blue line at 171.30 or the 750 Fibonacci retrace. Then we have a little pivot here right around 171.80. So just check that out. Keep an eye on it. And just let's see what pattern develops, guys. Right now it's just 4 days up. See if we go sideways, set up for higher prices, or do we just come right back in on this one? All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And what can I say? Markets are still buoyant. Light volumes in control. News is controlling it too. If it's all about Trump, we're going down. If it's all about Janet Yellen and waiting on data and all this unicorn and fancy roses crap, then just stick with the trade if you're long. And if we get a couple more sell days here, guys, it could be a buy to dip mentality, but I still think we're going to the lows in November on all these charts. I don't care what it is. And coming to the like the Apples and the Nvidias and all that stuff, SPY, everything comes down, all the indexes, all those will come down as well. Everything will be a market trade, guys. So keep your eye on that. Again, thanks for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.